What if I told you that 90% of sim builders make the same floor plan mistakes? Today, I'm going to show you the exact system that I use to create floor plans, and by the end of this video, you will never build a boring box again. So grab a cuppa, fire up The Sims 4, and let's get building. Before you even touch a wall in The Sims 4, get inspired. Check out real-life floor plans on houseplans.com or property websites such as Rightmove. Seriously, you're gonna spot patterns you never noticed before in houses just by looking at websites like these. If you want something a little bit more wild and fantastical, then you can check out Pinterest or even Google, which are both gold mines for fantasy layouts. So stick around, because in just a minute, you're going to learn a trick that will let you translate any real-world plan into Sims tiles with no guesswork. Here's the secret. In The Sims 4, one tile, that's one solid tile, equals approximately 3 feet in real life. That means if you see a 9-foot by 12-foot room in a real-life house plan, then you'll want to build it 3 tiles by 4 tiles. If you need more room for a double bed and 2 nightstands, add an extra tile or 2 to the width or length of the room. Next, I'm going to show you the stair placement trick that separates pro builds from rookie boxes. Stair placement is everything. So you want to start off with a big empty shell like this, with no walls, no doors, no windows. Where your stairs land will shape your whole build. You want to center the stairs in the build as much as possible to create natural room divisions, which will make your build feel balanced. I would actually maybe move the stairs over by 1 in the upper floor there, and then if we drop down, you can see that it makes sense having them here, although I might be tempted to move them forward 1 step just so that your Sims have a little bit of room down here. And then if we go upstairs, it still makes sense. Let's pause for a minute. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please hit the thumbs up button to let me know. Now, I say to do it this way because a lot of simmers mess up in this point by boxing their stairs into a corner, kind of like this. Doing it this way really, if you'll pardon the expression, boxes you in, because it creates a lot of just wasted space. By centering your stairs, this will unlock so many layout options. With your stairs in place, you're going to carve up the ground floor. Make sure that you've stripped out any windows, doors, and walls that you may have built so that you have a truly blank slate. We've got an entryway here that is just natural, and you want to put the living room as close to the entry, to the front entryway as you can. Your Sims will walk through here, and they'll be greeted with the entryway, which will be here. And I'm thinking the living room could either be put on this side or over here, depending on how big of a living room you want. And we'll extend it to be kind of this shape here. The kitchen and dining room, you normally want to place those in the back of the house with a clear path from the kitchen to the dining room so that you have a little bit of easy flow between the 2 rooms. In this instance, I would put the kitchen over here, and I am adding in a diagonal wall here to keep this entryway here nice and open. The dining room, we can have this be a little bit of a extra room between the kitchen and the dining room, and we can put the dining room just here. Here is a tip that most people miss. You always want to put your bathrooms along outer walls or natural bump outs. And the reason is because, let's say we had a bathroom right here. It's going to block your view every time that you play with the walls down or partially down. as you can see. It obstructs most of the dining room here. It's just a little bit of an annoyance, really. So when you're furnishing your build or making your floor plans, you want to try to picture the entire build as the inside of a bowl and put the tall stuff along the edges, your medium height stuff just below that, so over here, and then you want to put your smallest stuff in the middle. I usually make bathrooms be a 2x3 size. You can make it larger, so 2x4, 2x3, 2x3 at minimum, because I found that 2x3 is the exact size that you need to fit in a bathtub shower combo, or just a bathtub, or just a shower, a sink, and a toilet. I'm gonna make this a bathroom here, and I'm gonna make it 2x4 instead of 2x3 just because it fits the space better. When you're making things such as bathrooms, go ahead and like drop in some filler furniture, just the cheapest things that you can get, just to see how it all flows and how it feels, so that you can adjust the rooms and, you know, the sizes and everything on the fly. For your hallways, I always recommend that you go at least 2 tiles wide to keep things feeling roomy and sim friendly. This way, your Sims will be able to get through the hallway 2 Sims at a time, and there won't be any traffic jams or anything. Plus, having a 2-tile hallway just makes things feel a little bit less claustrophobic. We drop the camera down and go into first person mode. You can immediately feel that this hallway feels quite spacious, even though it's a fairly small space. However, if I were to drop this down to 1 tile wide, you can see now how much closer and claustrophobic it feels, and it's really difficult to get around in this space without feeling like you're brushing up against the stairs. Bump outs in your rooms, make sure that on the house itself that you have several little bump outs. Bump outs will help you with your room division and also make the house just look better from the outside. If you get a little bit stuck and you're not quite certain where rooms should go, then try placing a few doors and windows on your build to give you a bit of an idea as to where things should go. We can already see that this here is a room. We've got another room here. And then we also have a natural division here, like so. Technically, we could have 2, possibly 3 bedrooms up here and 1 ensuite. Or we could go with 2 bedrooms and 2 en-suites. And to be honest, I would be very tempted to make this another diagonal wall, just to make this room a little bit larger and less claustrophobic. Are you still with me? If so, drop a rainbow emoji in the comments. Up next, I'm going to show you how to adapt real-life quirks like tiny closets for Sims efficiency. Plus, you're going to learn a bonus tip for making builds playable and beautiful. Real-life floor plans often have closets and nooks that don't always work in the game. For example, if this was a bedroom, you might have a small room here that is meant to be a closet. You can either take this and put in a proper closet in their place, because The Sims, if you have Get Together, The Sims 4 does have closets, so that would fit a 1x2 space perfectly. Or you can delete this wall, keep this little side wall here, and just use this as maybe a little desk nook, or as a little nook for a dressing table or a dresser. Or you can just skip them all together and incorporate it in a room to give you more space. The more you build, the faster you'll get, and the more intuitive this will all become for you. So experiment, make mistakes, and do not be afraid to adjust as you go. If a large house like this is making you hit your head against a brick wall, I would suggest that you start with a tiny home, which is a maximum of 100 tiles. It will force you to make every tile count, and it is way easier and cheaper to furnish. Drop your favorite tip in the comments, or ask me anything that I've missed in this video. Massive thanks to my channel members for supporting these guides. And if you want to level up your builds with pools, fountains, or ponds, click here to watch that tutorial.